It does, yeah. First, before talking about volleyball, just want to say that the whole team's thoughts and prayers are out to everyone, the victims of the tornado. I know, especially Peoria and the devastation there, and our team was all texting each other, in shelters, and it was a scary time, and we're lucky it didn't hit here. And to I don't know, to see that happen in your own state, it really hits home, especially around where some of our kids have grown up and lived. It was just something that's on our whole team's mind, not to mention the staff's. So I just want to say that our thoughts and prayers are with everybody. On the weekend, from last weekend, had a nice weekend of sweep, first 3-0 sweep weekend we've had. But more importantly, we're starting to play some volleyball the way we want to. It sure feels like Illinois volleyball again. And it's been a struggle for us to get there, but we're still one win away from being eligible for the tournament. We feel like if we get that one of the win in the next 4, we should be in. There's also potential if we win more than that we could potentially be seeded because of our strength of schedule. And so we're looking forward to this weekend going up to Ohio State first and then Penn State and hoping we can pull something off there. It's always tough to get wins on the road, but if our team can continue to move the direction we feel like they are, we've got a great shot. So otherwise, I'll leave it up to questions.
You look better than when we saw you last time. We were worried about you last time.
You were worried? Yeah.
What's happened? What's changed?
Well, maybe I'm eating healthier. I don't know. No, I think our team's figured out how to fight, and it's been a couple years. We've been trying to work on just how to compete and fight consistently, and I think finally they're starting to do that. They're playing with a will to win that we haven't seen from this particular group. That used to be a staple of our program, and I think we're starting to find that again, and that's the biggest change. We're getting better all the time, volleyball-wise, but that was happening. We just weren't getting that fight that we're looking for.
What do you think you legitimately need to do to host?
To guarantee host, I don't know if we win out. I don't think it's a guarantee. Our RPI was sitting at 18 last week, and it's not all based on RPI, but it is one of the strong categories to as far as how they seed and all that. And so, we go to Penn State, so our RPI should go up. We go to Ohio State, our RPI could potentially go up. Our schedules doesn't get any easier. Minnesota comes to town, so those guys are all ahead of us. So if we can pull something off, if we swept, I think there's a good chance we do it. If we get 3 or 4, there's a great chance that there's still a good chance. If we go 2-2, probably not. Probably going somewhere else. But none of that's going to be easy, and it's out of our hands, really. All we're going to do is try to win as many as we can in front of us and see what happens. But based on the way that it was in Huff this weekend, if we could host, it would be a dangerous place to come because the crowds were amazing this weekend. What do you mean? Is it a better chance that we would host? Because motivation for our group? Yeah, there's opportunity. Yeah. I think there's opportunity in that, and our team recognizes that. And first they're fighting for their lives just to make the tournament. Now we're talking about hosting. It seems like we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. We're going to get eligible, and then we'll start talking about what's possible with the group. But they know there's opportunity here if we could pull something off that we could host. And no one wants to play in Huff, not in the NCAA tournament. It's just a really tough place to play. And like I said, the crowds have been just extraordinary. And to do that and have an opportunity to potentially play 4 matches at home would be a huge advantage. And the team recognizes that, certainly.
Kevin, since you took Penn State to 5 here, if you look at their scores since then, really very impressive. Do you feel like you maybe woke them up a little bit in terms of?
I hope we can put them back to sleep. They haven't lost a set, I don't think, since they played here. They're playing great. They're playing like a team that's poised to make a run at it. They're playing the same last year at this time. Second half of the Big Ten, they're always really tough. And I don't know. They certainly have been playing well. The Courtney kid's gotten a lot better. Megan Courtney, she was the sophomore freshman year last year. She's improved, but I think like us, their attitude has changed. They look more competitive. They've always been a team that would bully you, and they weren't that before. They kind of play around with you a little bit, and they're starting to bully teams. And so, we're going to have to be ready for that, which will be fun.
So maybe in your team's case, maybe it kicked in a little bit later than it did for Penn State, but you're seeing kind of the fight from both teams, I guess.
I feel like that. I feel like ours. I think we found in the middle of the Michigan match, as I talked about before, and I think they found it right after our match. It's Northwestern, and they destroyed Northwestern up at that place, and they haven't stopped since then. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. But we're excited for the challenge. I think it's a good test for us to see how far we've actually come as a team.
For your situation where you're at, obviously there's no matches that aren't important. What can
Right.
you tell us about Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio State, man, that's the one that's more important, of course, right now, because if we can win that match, then we're in great shape. When we were in the tournament, we feel like it's almost a guarantee. But they're fast. They're a tough team to play because they run a great offenses. You know, they got Caitlin Larry, who's one of the best players in the conference, and they've been kind of up and down because they're young and figuring out when they're hot, they're really tough to stop, and they've been really good at home. They beat Purdue and Indiana like we did, almost the same kind of scores at their place, and so we got our hands full with those guys as well. And you know, it's always tough to get road wins. So their place, I know they'll be rocking.
What happened in the Michigan match that was sort of the awakening?
I mean, we were down, and I think we were fighting for our lives. We were really fighting for our lives. We talked about, hey, this is a big win. This is an important win. But the realization that if we don't win this match, the tournament's probably out of reach. I mean, I think we just in the middle of that, between the two sets, we talked about that. Like, look, if we don't get this, it's going to be really tough for us to pull this off and make the tournament. And I think they just awoke to it. Like, they just started to realize that this is real. You know, okay, I'd like to play in the tournament. I'd like to go on. And you know, we've been preaching this similar stuff the whole year. I just think finally they realized how serious it was, and then they started to feel what it feels like to be that competitive and to bring that kind of fighting spirit. And they're trying to replicate that every time they step on the floor now, or even take it further, which is what you would hope for as a coach.
Talk a little bit about Maureen Criswell, the kind of season she's having. She's really coming into her own.
Yeah, she's brought in some really important offense for us. You know, we were trying to find another pin in her. She wasn't starting at the beginning of the year, and when Allie Stark wasn't scoring the way we wanted to, we tried her out, and she's really, last couple of weeks, has really started to get some confidence and play at a high level. And the thing she's doing great for us mostly is, which maybe if you're not technically into volleyball, we hit a lot of good out-of-system balls, which is a big part of her position. And you know, we're in trouble, and we'll set a high ball to her, and she'll eliminate those mistakes. And we wouldn't be on this run if it wasn't for Morgan. She's really starting to figure some things out, and I thought she was the best player this weekend in the gym, and everyone that we saw play. She was fantastic.
Anything else for Kevin?
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir. Good luck this weekend. Okay, Janet Rayfield, talk about your trip to